doing today, guys? It's Jesse, the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And boys and girls, I've been a Doctor Who fan since about 2011, and it's been a ride that I absolutely really enjoyed. Starting off with the Russell T Davies era, I caught in right as Tennant was still going strong, and of course went back and watched a lot of the Christopher Eccleston stuff. I absolutely loved him. The Matt Smith era was absolutely wonderful. Saw some of the craziest storylines. Loved the companions. Loves Matt Smith's take on it. And then of course Peter Capaldi, I think, finished out the run very, very well as an incredibly strong actor. Of course, some of the storylines were a little bit weaker, but nonetheless, it was something that I overall enjoyed. And then, of course, came the Chris Chibnall era, and things just got perpetually worse. I don't blame Jodie Whittaker for any of this. I blame this solely on Chris Chibnall for all of this kind of nonsense. He even came out after his end as Tennant as the end of the run of his run of Doctor Who. He even said that he flat out intended to destroy this series and that this was his goal all along. Now, obviously, a lot of us saw some of that kind of stuff. Some of us heard through reports because I honestly checked out after Jodie Whittaker started. I gave her a chance. I was willing to watch the first season, and honestly, it just bored me to tears, and a lot of it you could tell was kind of agenda-driven, and of course, that only got worse, and they completely and totally decimated all of the history, 60 years of history with Doctor Who. Well, then what happened? Russell T Davies got announced as coming back. David Tennant was coming back along with Dr. Donna. We were going to see all over again. It was going to be wonderful. It was going to be great. A lot of us were excited. A lot of us were cautiously optimistic. And then, of course, boys and girls, the very first episode came out, a part of the 3-part anniversary special, and oh my god, it was so much worse than what we could have ever been feared. And of course, the ratings have been in the toilet ever since. And ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon, because the new actress for our new companion, Millie Gibson, out there is confirming exactly what all of us expected. It is going to be full steam ahead with the agenda going forward, and Doctor Who further destroying and decimating what was an incredible icon of not only British culture, but sci-fi culture worldwide. And ladies and gentlemen, color us shocked, especially considering the fact that Disney has their hand in Doctor Who now. So we're going to check out this article over here from Bounding Comics, get into exactly what she said, show you exactly how bad the ratings have been so far, with, of course, the Christmas special coming in not any better than any of the rest. So we'll get into this article from Bounding Comics, give you all the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe if you are not already, because we are grinding, we are growing, we are getting higher and higher on those subscriptions, and I could not do that without every single one of you. And it doesn't cost you a thing to hit that subscribe button. But if you would like to help financially support the channel, please check out the links in the description down below. But nonetheless, we appreciate you just being here, liking and subscribing. So let's check out this article, get into all the juicy details, and see exactly how much more of a disastrous dumpster fire, if that's even possible, than Doctor Who is going to get. So shout out to Spencer Bacali over there at Bounding into Comics writing this up for us. New Doctor Who companion, actress Millie Gibson, says upcoming episodes will attract a lot of Gen Z, featuring many controversial elements. You mean like you haven't already had enough controversial elements? Completely trying to convince everybody that a man dressed as a woman is a beautiful character, and that everybody should love them and adore them, and they're so much more wonderful than that, and that women power everything, and that of course a trans power is even stronger than women power. And boy, why doesn't David Tennant just end up staying as a female? Well, now of course they're going to turn the Doctor gay, so color us shocked there. And continuing to break the already broken spirits of many longtime fans, who had hoped this new Doctor era might bring a narrative course correction to the Time Lord space-time adventures. I was one of those. New Doctor Who companion actress Millie Gibson has teased that the show's upcoming episodes will not only attract a lot of Gen Z viewers, but also feature a number of controversial elements that may lead fans to question the show's identity. Oh, you mean like you hadn't already done enough of that already? Bah. Rest in peace at Doctor Who. I put out a really great tweet. Well, I don't know if it was really great, but I thought it was kind of quippy. I said flat out, Chris Chibnall may have killed Doctor Who, but Russell T Davies is writing its obituary, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Doctor Who is dead as we know it, and this is nothing more than an obituary of all of the reasons as to why this show has completely and totally destroyed its fan base and turned all of them off worldwide. Gibson made her debut as the Doctor's latest partner, Ruby Sunday, companion, which for some reason they have an issue with the word companion now too. Ruby Sunday in the 23 Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, otherwise known as the premiere episode of Nagati Gatwa's run as the titular hero, provided to tease her time in the TARDIS during a December interview with the UK-based news outlet The Independent. Pressed by the outlet's senior culture and lifestyle writer, Katie Rosenzinski, as to whether or not she could give any details as to what fans might expect from her and Gatwa's adventures, Gibson carefully asserted, Ruby has a relationship with the Doctor that I don't think the audience has necessarily seen before. Oh, wait, let's get her description of that. She really humanizes him and balances him to be more like her, really more innocent and pure and human, which is beautiful to watch. Wait a minute. So clearly you've either never seen Doctor Who before, which wouldn't surprise me at all, or you clearly don't understand any of his dynamic between his characters. His companions have always been meant to humanize him. His companions have always been us, our version of looking at this guy that there's no way we could relate to. This immortal with two hearts who travels through space and time. The companions were always meant there to more humanize the Doctor. And in later seasons, like you could see even with, and I know there's a lot of people who weren't big fans of Matt Smith and his companion at the time later down the road, but it's one of them situations where she was even there to humanize him. I mean, we even saw that with Peter Capaldi coming back and needing flashcards as to how to interact with humans. This is something we have seen time and time before. You are not an original idea for this. The Doctor has always been humanized by his companions, especially in those moments where you see him like the Time Lord Victorious, where he's out there going, no, I control time and space. I'm the one that makes the decision. I'm the last of the Time Lords. Well, then you have a human companion come in and go, no, Doctor, no, you haven't. And give him a check and put him back in his place and understand his role in the universe. This has happened time and time again. This is not anything new. It's just, of course, they think they are better, faster, and stronger than anyone that has ever came before. So, of course, it should be all new to you because all of the rest of that stuff is just hogwash and doesn't matter. Of course, you know, like the fact that the original of the Doctor, you know, the 60 years of history, 60 years of lore, all that kind of stuff, none of that matters. No. It's all about the new Who. It's their version. It's going to be the best, strongest, fastest version of ever. They will be like the Most High. Boy, how pride comes before the fall so very often. And falling is exactly what Doctor Who's doing, especially with the ratings. From there, Gibson claimed that Her and Gotwa's first series, or season for American viewers, would have an element of Black Mirror in it. Not so much at the start, but it definitely grows darker. Oh, joy. She further declared that the series' upcoming slew of Russell T Davies helmed episodes will attract a lot of Gen Z and go with the times and represent a lot of faces and themes that are really important to see on television. Oh, yes, representation, ladies and gentlemen. We got to have a representation. It wasn't enough that we went from turning the Doctor into a really boring female version, or into now we have a very openly gay Black Doctor. No. None of that wasn't good enough. And don't even get me started on the regeneration where they literally split from the pelvis. It was absolutely insane. Oh, God, how far the mighty have fallen. A show that was beloved by generations throughout the years is going to completely and totally die, because the only reason shows carry over like this is with generations passing them on to the next generations. There isn't a single, honest, true Doctor Who fan out there that can still tell me absolutely that they would be willing to pass this down to their children. They would be willing to show this to their children, unless you're just one of those crazy, wokey nut jobs possessed by the spirit of the age and completely and totally down for all of the cult nonsense to kind of push this agenda. That's the only way. Well, guess what? The normies out there, the main street, the common nerds are completely and totally rejecting it. But here she goes. She says there's so many controversial elements to this season. The good sort of controversy, in your eyes maybe, and it's what we need to see on our tellies. Some people might think this isn't the Doctor Who I know, but I'm really excited to see it. It's really cool that we're doing concepts like these and changing it up. Oh, yes. What's that old saying go? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But of course, they think the whole world is broken. That's the leftist cult ideology that we have permeating not only Hollywood, but all of our culture, all of our media, all of our governments, all of that kind of stuff out there. That's what they think. They think the whole world is broken and they must fix it. They must remake it in their own image. They will be like the Most High. Unfortunately, though, now we get into the ratings. Unfortunately for not just Gibson, but the entirety of current Who crew, it seems audiences are less than excited about the future of the 15th Doctor. Per UK entertainment source Radio Times, Doctor Who Season 14 has been bleeding viewers ever since its debut with the first of the 3 introductory specials, The Star Beast. And even then, that first episode, that 60th anniversary special, was still way lower than the ratings than the 50th anniversary special. They have lost millions of viewers during Chris Chibnall's run with Jodie Whittaker, aka Dr. Karen. Following this special, 5 million people overnight, 7.6 million over 7-day viewer count. Its follow-up, Wild Blue Yonder, dropped to 4.83 million, 7.14 million, and then, of course, The Giggle, which featured the proper introduction of Gotwa's incarnation of the Doctor, and, of course, the birth, the Time Lord split, of course, the regeneration that came out of the pelvis. Drew in only 4.62 million overnight and 6.85 consolidated. As for The Church on Ruby Road, they won't be available yet, but needless to say, this is still bleeding. But one of the things that is currently available, we don't have the exact numbers just yet, but we know, if nothing else, the Doctor Who Christmas special got beat out by the King's speech. Yes, the King of England, Charles himself, out there giving his speech. A king that, from what I hear from a lot of people, at least from a lot of the rumblings were going on before he took the throne, wasn't a guy that liked. Now, I have a very good friend of mine, Jack Tarlard, who absolutely is totally down. You know what? He's our king. He should be treated with respect, and I completely understand that. As a guy that grew up without a monarch, you know what? I'm going to respect and defer to Jack's opinion on this. But nonetheless, the King's speech beat out the Doctor Who Christmas special, something that had been an icon of UK culture for generations, which of course was screwed up by Chris Chibnall turning it into a New Year's Day special, because God forbid we talk about Christmas and anything that relates to it. Oh no, can't talk about Christ, can't talk about Jesus, can't even have anything relates to it. No, of course not. That was the kind of destruction he went into. This is a guy that came in and told us his mentality was to destroy the lore. And now the people that thought he might end up being a savior, Russell T Davies, no. He is down with the cult. He is down with those Disney dollars, and he is totally willing to put agenda over good storytelling and completely and totally destroy not only his legacy at Doctor Who, but the entire legacy of Doctor Who, all on the sacrificial altar of the woke cult agenda. Well, guess what, Chris Chibnall? Guess what, Russell T Davies? Guess what, Disney Doctor Who? You're going to get exactly what you deserve. Just like Disney has bankrupted Star Wars, just like Disney has bankrupted their own company and their own ideology, their own all of their different things that they own, all of that kind of stuff out there, all of the properties that they own, all of the ones that they've controlled over the past few years, they are going to destroy it just like they destroyed Doctor Who. Like I said, Chris Chibnall may have killed Doctor Who, but Stephen Moffat and Disney are now writing its obituary, and the viewing numbers prove that. Burn BBC, burn Doctor Who Disney, because you are going to get exactly what you deserve. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday if Doctor Who becomes public domain, just like your Steamboat Willie has, we might actually get in good quality Doctor Who stories again. But until that happens, Doctor Who is dead, ladies and gentlemen, and I am very, very sad to report that to you. But hey, that's just my common sense take. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about all this in the comments section down below. Does it surprise you at all that Russell T Davies is going to double down and go full steam ahead with all of the agenda-driven nonsense in the future of Doctor Who? Have you seen the Doctor Who specials, the 60th anniversary specials? What did you think about them? Do you think they're as abysmal as what I thought? Do you want to go check out the reviews and see what you think about all of that kind of stuff? Do you think this ever has a future? Do you think Doctor Who can survive this? Or do you think it's DOA, just like so many of us out there do? Let us know what you think about in the comments section down below. If you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe if you are not already. This is Jesse with The Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. Enjoy the credits. Thanks for watching.